Cristiano Ronaldo does not simply play football. He occupies space. Before the ball is even touched, before a single sprint or shot, his presence is already felt. In stadiums, in timelines, in global conversations that stretch far beyond the 90 minutes of a match, he is followed, analyzed, admired, criticized, replayed, reposted, remembered. More than 600 million people follow him on Instagram alone. That number is not just a statistic, it is a population, larger than most countries, larger than the audience of most global media companies, larger than any fan base a single athlete has ever commanded in human history. He is the most followed human being on the planet, not the most followed athlete, not the most followed celebrity, the most followed human. And with that attention comes wealth on a scale that reshapes what success even means. His net worth is estimated to exceed $500 million, though some estimates push it far higher. Endorsements, business ventures, licensing, investments, entire industries orbiting a single name. In 2023, he signed a deal with Saudi Arabia, reportedly worth more than $200 million per year, not a lifetime contract, per year. At that point, the question almost stops being about football, because when numbers get that large, when attention reaches that wide, when influence becomes that dense, the story changes. It stops being about goals scored or trophies lifted. It becomes something else entirely. Is Cristiano Ronaldo simply successful, or is he the most refined product of an attention economy that rewards volume, visibility, and magnitude above all else? To understand that, you have to understand that Ronaldo is not accidental. Nothing about him is accidental. Every celebration, every pose, every pause before a free kick, every stare into the camera, every carefully chosen response in an interview, every Instagram post, caption, training clip, recovery session, family photo, fashion shot, all of it is calibrated. Not necessarily scripted, but structured. Not necessarily fake, but intentional.
Believe. I think you should believe in it, in everything. And of course, the rest, it's the dedication, the hard work. Well, my best words, it's dedication and hard work. To achieve this kind of things, you need to work hard and, be a great professional, be serious in your job. We all have talent, but the talent without the work, it's nothing.
Cristiano Ronaldo did not just build a football career, he built an architecture of visibility. Long before the word influencer became mainstream, before algorithms dictated reach and engagement, before social media became a currency, Ronaldo understood something instinctively, something that many athletes, even today, still fail to grasp. Visibility compounds. The more you are seen, the more you are validated. The more you are validated, the more you are trusted. The more you are trusted, the more you are paid. This is not arrogance, this is math. From early in his career, Ronaldo understood that football alone was not the ceiling. Football was the foundation, the engine, but the structure built on top of it could be far larger. He didn't just want to be great, he wanted to be unmistakable, recognizable from any angle, any distance, any screen size. Very early on, he began treating himself like a global brand, long before most athletes were thinking that way. His training routines were obsessive, his diet disciplined, his sleep monitored down to the hour. Teammates and coaches have repeatedly described how he stayed behind after sessions, repeating the same movements until they were perfect. This relentless attention to detail wasn't vanity, it was control. He believed that if every variable could be optimized, greatness wouldn't be accidental, it would be inevitable. Off the pitch, that same mindset shaped his image in business decisions. The CR7 name became more than initials. It turned into a trademark spanning fashion, fragrances, hotels, and gyms. Ronaldo understood the power of visibility in the digital age, building one of the largest social media followings in the world by carefully curating what fans saw: strength, confidence, luxury, and constant motion. Every post reinforced the idea that winning wasn't a moment, it was a lifestyle that never switched off. But beneath the polish and precision was an unspoken pressure that came with being unmistakable. When expectations are set that high, even excellence can feel like failure if it falls short of perfection. Goals were no longer just goals, they were proof. Trophies were no longer enough, they had to be decisive. And as the years passed, the question slowly shifted from whether Ronaldo could win to whether winning alone could still satisfy someone who had already conquered almost everything.
In my mind, I'm always the best. I don't care what the people are thinking, what they say. In my mind, not just this year, but always, I'm always the best.
That is why his image became as disciplined as his body.
His physique became a symbol, a visual shorthand for dedication, sacrifice, control. His celebrations became trademarks. His expressions became memes, arguments, inspiration. His presence became constant, and consistency is the true driver of modern relevance. Sponsorships followed naturally. Nike did not just sign Ronaldo, they committed to him for life, a lifetime deal, the kind usually reserved for cultural icons, not athletes whose bodies inevitably age. But Nike wasn't betting on his legs, they were betting on his visibility, on his brand endurance, on his ability to remain relevant long after the final whistle. CR7 stopped being a nickname and became a corporation. Fragrances, hotels, gyms, apparel, underwear, footwear, digital ventures. Ronaldo became less like an athlete and more like infrastructure, something systems are built around, something that generates value simply by existing. At that point, he was no longer just selling performance, he was selling proximity. Being associated with Ronaldo meant being adjacent to attention, and attention is the most valuable resource of the modern era. A single sponsored post can reportedly generate over $2 million. One image, one caption, one carefully framed moment. More than most professional footballers earn in an entire year, more than many executives will see in a lifetime. At that scale, football stops being the product. Football becomes leverage. Clubs no longer sign Ronaldo only for goals, they sign him for reach, for global penetration, for instant relevance, for brand association, for eyes. When he joined Al Nassr, the effect was immediate and measurable. Shirt sales exploded, social media engagement surged, international interest in the Saudi League multiplied, broadcast discussions changed, sponsorship conversations shifted. Ronaldo's arrival didn't just boost Al Nassr, it altered the economics of the entire league.
I think I'm good, but I think my main strength is my mind.
Broadcasters outside the Middle East suddenly began bidding for rights they had previously ignored. European and Asian media outlets that rarely mentioned Saudi football were now covering match previews, goal highlights, and post-match analysis. Within weeks, the Saudi Pro League's digital following grew by millions, driven largely by Ronaldo's global fan base tracking his every move. Inside the club, standards shifted almost overnight. Training intensity increased, professionalism tightened, and younger players found themselves sharing a dressing room with one of the most disciplined athletes in football history. Reports from within the league consistently noted how Ronaldo's routines, recovery habits, and obsessive preparation raised expectations for teammates and staff alike. His presence became a benchmark, not just a marketing asset. At the same time, Ronaldo's move forced a broader conversation about football power dynamics. His decision challenged the long-held idea that relevance only flows through Europe's elite leagues. While critics debated motivations, the results were undeniable. Packed stadiums, increased sponsorship valuations, and a league suddenly part of the global football narrative. And that influence continues to ripple outward, reshaping how success in modern football is measured. That contract, reportedly worth around $200 million per year, was not just about football performance, it was about positioning, about signaling ambition, about inserting a league into global conversation, about accelerating visibility by attaching it to the loudest name in the sport.
Ronaldo did not just join Saudi football, he carried global attention with him, and that attention reshapes markets. But none of this works without performance, without credibility, without excellence that cannot be dismissed as illusion.
Because everyone wants to be Cristiano, but I give you the map. You think you will do it that?
Ronaldo's body is not marketing, it is discipline made visible. Early mornings, strict routines, measured nutrition, obsessive recovery, years of consistency layered on top of relentless work. He did not accidentally maintain elite physical condition into his late 30s. That required sacrifice that most people will never see and never fully understand. But discipline alone does not explain Ronaldo. What truly separates him is psychological intensity, an almost confrontational relationship with winning. He does not just want to succeed, he wants dominance to be undeniable. He wants victory to be visible. He wants the moment captured, replayed, archived. The camera matters, the framing matters, the narrative matters. Because in modern sport, performance without attention fades. You can win quietly and still be forgotten. Ronaldo understood that winning is not enough if it is not seen, and so he mastered both. He trained his body and his brand with equal seriousness. He learned how to occupy space, not just physically, but digitally, culturally, emotionally. He became unavoidable. But attention is not neutral.
It amplifies everything. When you are everywhere, there is no private failure, no quiet loss, no unobserved mistake. Every missed penalty trends, every elimination becomes a headline. Every emotional reaction is slowed down, dissected, replayed, turned into commentary. The louder the presence, the harsher the backlash. Ronaldo's career has been filled with moments of criticism, public tension with clubs, explosive interviews, questions about ego, leadership, legacy. At times, his relationship with fans and media has been strained. But here is the paradox of the attention economy. Even controversy feeds visibility, and visibility feeds power. Silence is not rewarded. Magnitude is. The system does not care whether attention is positive or negative. It only cares that it is sustained. Ronaldo learned how to survive within that system, even thrive in it. He absorbed criticism, deflected it, sometimes confronted it head-on. He remained present, and presence is everything.
I'm my own medic, my own doctor. I am my mental coach, my nutritionist, my doctor. If you do the right things, you're going to be better than other persons.
Cristiano Ronaldo, at this stage, is not just an athlete. He is a case study, a demonstration of what happens when skill meets spectacle, and spectacle is scaled to its absolute limit. He turned talent into dominance, dominance into narrative, narrative into brand, brand into empire. $500 million in wealth, hundreds of millions of followers, one of the largest sports contracts in history, a name that transcends leagues, borders, and generations. He didn't just win matches, he won the algorithm. And maybe that is the real evolution of sport. Not strength alone, not speed alone, not even skill alone, but scale. The ability to expand presence beyond the pitch, beyond the moment, beyond the result. The ability to convert attention into permanence. Ronaldo is not an outlier. He is a prototype, a preview of what success looks like in an era where attention equals currency, where relevance is measured not only in trophies, but in reach, where the loudest presence often outlasts the quietest genius. And the question is no longer whether Cristiano Ronaldo is great. That question has been answered. The real question is this: how many others are watching him closely, learning the blueprint, and trying to become just as loud? Because in a world that rewards visibility above all else, winning is no longer the finish line. It's just the entry point.